How's it going, YouTube? It is Daiki or Daiki Style Gaming, and I am back at it with another Anthem video for you all today. And in this video, we got a brand new Anthem game article that was posted on their site about all things Legion of Dawn, General Helena Tarsis, and the very first Javelins. And then after, I will be doing a proper breakdown on the most recent Legion of Dawn trailer that we just got a couple days ago, covering some important things to note and potentially pointing out some things you all might have missed. So first, let's start off with the article, and then we'll end it off with the trailer breakdown. So let's hop straight into the summary of the article. It starts, "Our world is a violent and cruel place. For centuries we have lived at its mercy, unable to rise above the violent chaos that shook our land and mutated the creatures around us. We would be suffering still if not for the Legion of Dawn. Under the eyes of General Helena Tarsis, they built the first Javelins, protected us from the chaos, and created a new future for all those who came after. Their story, her story, is what makes ours possible." And that's how the summary for the article ends, and it's coming from the perspective of which I'm assuming is a person or a citizen of Fort Tarsis, and how they feel and why they feel the way they do towards the Legion of Dawn and General Helena Tarsis. And that's actually a theme you'll see throughout the rest of this article. It seems to be from the perspective of people in Fort Tarsis. Now, this first paragraph is probably one of the most interesting in the article, and it's called "The First Javelins." And it starts, "When every day was a battle for survival, we had few resources to make better lives for ourselves. But General Tarsis and those who followed her saw a different way forward. One of her followers, Arden Vasa, was an inventor and a genius in his time. He built the Javelin of Dawn, a forebear to the Colossus, and created one for each of the general's disciples. With these powerful tools at their disposal, General Tarsis led the Legion of Dawn to a victory against the forces of our raging world, finally giving us a chance to live in peace." And that's how the paragraph for the first Javelins end. Now, I know what's about to be said in the comment section. Yes, you Colossus fans and all you thick boys out there, the Javelin of Dawn is indeed the forebear to the Colossus. So think of it as the father of the Colossus, or I guess in this case, the mother of the Colossus. And even though I'm a Storm Master Race head myself, I will admit that it is pretty dope that the first Javelins, the Javelin of Dawn, was the precursor to the Colossus. But the Storm still Dominion tech, that's kinda cool, right? Alright, not gonna lie, it is pretty dope that the Javelins of Dawns are the forebear to the Colossus. So go on, spread all your thick boy propaganda in the comment section. I already know it's coming. All joking aside though, I do think that it is pretty dope that we get to see the Javelin of Dawn, and the fact that it's a precursor to the Colossus, but it seems to be a mix of that and the Ranger. If we look at some of the images in the trailer, which I'll show off in the breakdown, it looks to be from certain angles more Ranger-like, and the mobility and things that we've seen it do in the trailer, or from the still images, looks to be more or less like a Ranger, but it definitely has the build of a Colossus. But what's also interesting about this Javelin is that this is technically a 5th new Javelin type. And like all Javelins, everything needs to have a name. So what would the Javelin name for the Javelin of Dawn be? Personally, I think I'd call it the Juggernaut, but that's just me. Let me know in the comment section what you guys would personally call this Javelin, especially if we do get this as a 5th Javelin a little later on when the game is released. What do you think would be a badass name for this Javelin of Dawn? Now on to the last article. We're going to find out why the people of Fort Tarsis value and respect General Helena Tarsis so much. And this paragraph is called "The Myths of General Tarsis." And this paragraph starts, "Though General Tarsis left this world long ago, she still leads us through her legends, stories of valor, might, and resolve that teach us how to live. It is said that she scaled a mountain to defeat a massive beast at its peak and protect the people below. The freelancers now fight to protect all of humanity, holding this story close to their hearts. The Sentinels, those who hold the walls of Fort Tarsis, tell a valiant stand where she and her lancers protected a village in a path of disaster. It is believed that some artifacts from her life remains in the Fortress of Dawn, but the fortress has stood firm throughout the centuries, sealed against any who try to open it. So for our lifetime, the legend must suffice." And I'll get more into that artifact come the breakdown. And now, a new threat is rising, as great as the dangers General Tarsis face. You, freelancers, must follow in her footsteps. Do, and you will become as legendary as the Legion before. And that's how the article ends. Now, this was definitely one of the best articles we've got in a long time in terms of lore and just more information and backstory, especially on characters that, one, I've really been wanting to know more on, and a faction that I've been wanting to know a bit more about. Now, yeah, there's still some secret and mystery to it, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to explore a bit more into it when the game actually drops. But now that we got the EA article out of the way, let's hop into this brand new Legion of Dawn edition trailer that we just got and break it down, where I'll be touching on 7 things that you guys might not have caught on to in this trailer. But before I get into the actual trailer, I'm going to let you guys watch this trailer and then I'll start breaking it down. But before I actually post the trailer, I kind of do hope that this isn't just a marketing trailer and that this is a legit cutscene from the game of us going to go get the artifact from General Helena Tarsis or her Javelin. Though, if it is, I'm pretty sure that the images that we're seeing of them in the Legion of Dawn would probably be us in our own customized Javelins. I mean, it'd be Legion of Dawn if that's what you're choosing to rock, but hopefully, like I said, this is an actual cinematic in the game and not just a marketing trailer. But with all that being said, here's a look at the trailer and then I'll get straight into the first thing that you might have missed from the trailer, breaking it down from the beginning all the way to the end.
In the beginning, we were slaves to the violent chaos of this world. But there was one among us who rose up to lead us out of darkness. The ones who followed became the Legion of Dawn and protected those who could not protect themselves. In the end, she traded her life for our future. It is in her honor that we fight. And it is her legacy that will carry the day.
Now that you've all seen that badass trailer, let's actually get into the things you guys might have missed from that trailer, starting with the first one, which is right at the beginning as they're walking into the Fortress of Dawn. If you look closely at the background, you can see multiple Javelins of Dawn on the wall. And like the EA article said, not only did General Helena Tarsis have them, but also her disciples. So those could be the disciples of General Helena Tarsis that are on that wall. Then one of the next things to take a note of was one of the wall murals of General Helena Tarsis holding a legit javelin as a weapon, using it to kill a beast, presumably the one from the story, but this is in a more ranger-esque javelin with a cape on it, similar to the Storm, which I'll touch on another point, but I thought it was pretty interesting nonetheless. That mural is something pretty interesting. You also see a couple of the Legion of Dawn around her as well. And then the next shot we get is the actual scene of her against that beast, which looks to be an Ash Titan, or it could be a precursor to the Ash Titan, but we also see her using her sword in this scene, which is kind of interesting, especially considering the image that we just saw only seconds before actually depicted her going after this beast with a javelin or a spear. Now on to the fourth thing you might have missed. One of the next scenes to note was another wall image of General Helena Tarsis herself, with her helmet off, a long cape, loincloth, sword in hand, and in her Javelin of Dawn armor. But it's kind of interesting to see in this, she's not really looking quite as thick as a Colossus, but definitely not as thin as a Ranger. That's why I said earlier that it seems to be a mix between both. Even though it is the precursor to a Colossus, it doesn't 100% look like it was meant to just be the heavy tanking javelin. Also in the image, we see her surrounded by more of the Legion of Dawn in Ranger-like suits holding shields and javelins as well, or spears, whichever one you prefer to call it. But all that aside, that's still not even what I'm talking about you guys might have missed. If you look even closer at the image, you see that they're all standing on top of the bodies of armored enemies. One even in the corner appears to be crying out for help or in a lot of pain. And these enemies, which I'm going to call them that hesitantly, or with quotes around the name, are also going to come up in the next two things you might have missed. So the fifth important thing to take note of in this trailer was the next shot of her using her sword to call down lightning on her enemies. Again, I'm going to use that word hesitantly, though she could also be channeling the Anthem of Creation through this sword. But in this same shot, if you look pretty close, not only at the people watching, but look at their armor, their shoulder pads are identical to the ones that were in the mural of the enemies that the Legion of Dawn were actually standing on. Also, if you look at the enemies, they're wielding swords with the triangle Anthem logos on them. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So my real question is, what's really going on in this shot? And who are these enemies that General Helena Tarsis and the Legion of Dawn are fighting? Now, the sixth thing to take note of is something that is quite interesting. This image is an image of General Helena Tarsis using her sword to shatter the ground, destroying columns, and we also see 4 brand new aliens or creatures, enemies that we've never seen before. But again, if you look at their armor, it's the same layered shoulder armor that we saw in the last 2 shots as well. And then if you even look at the faces, it's similar to the one that was screaming. So again, another question I have now is, who exactly are these creatures? Are they an enemy that's now extinct because of the Legion of Dawn? Are they the planet's original inhabitants when the Shapers still existed? Are they even the Shapers themselves? And why did they have the Anthem logo on their sword? There's so many questions and not enough time in this video. And then the last thing, or 7th thing to take note of, after the whole monologue has been said, they reach General Helena Tarsis, Javelin of Dawn still holding that incredibly unique and apparently incredibly powerful sword. Probably the artifact that they were mentioning that was hidden in the Fortress of Dawn in the EA Legion of Dawn article. And if this artifact is in fact so legendary, I wonder if that really was her wielding the Anthem of Creation with her sword alone. And also, since we're on the topic of swords, if they do in fact bring swords to the game, which we have now seen 2 different types of races holding swords, if we get swords in the game, don't make it a Colossus exclusive weapon. Now I know all you thick boys would love to have an exclusive sword as your melee weapon, but come on, BioWare really won't do that to us, will they? I mean, hopefully not. I mean, come on, at least give the Storm a sword. I mean, all the other Javelins, who cares? But the Storm gotta have a sword. And then there's actually one last thing, even though I said there were 7 things you might have missed. This one you probably didn't miss, but I still thought it was something interesting to take note of nonetheless, which is the Legion of Light gun, which is a new addition to the Legion of Dawn edition of the game. This wasn't shown or even said that it was going to be available in any pre-order bonus or exclusive when it came to the Legion of Dawn edition of the game. And with that, I think I'm going to end the video off. I think I made this video long enough. Now I know some of you guys like my longer videos, but I try to keep them short if I can. But like always, thank you all for watching. And if you all made it to the end of this long video, again, sorry, but let me know in the comment section what you would name the Javelins of Dawn if they get introduced in the game and have to have a specific Javelin name. And then also, let me know if you guys actually want swords in the game in the comment section. Also, if you guys are feeling nice, don't be shy, hit that like button. But again, thank you all for watching. If you want to follow me on any of my social media accounts, links to all of those are in the description. If you want to help out the channel, Patreon, link to that is in the description as well. And then tomorrow, I will be announcing the winner of our next Anthem game giveaway. So if you haven't entered in for that, do so now, because tomorrow entries are being closed and I will be announcing the winner of the next Anthem game giveaway. And then because we hit our goal of 5,200 subs by this month, we'll also be doing another Anthem game giveaway. So definitely stay tuned to the channel for that. Again, thank you all for watching to the end if you did. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subs. You guys are the best. Peace.